I took Ubers with someone. I would ask the driver to open his boot. I wouldn't sit in the back seat because of the child lock thing, and I'd always sit in the front and make sure that I can open and close my door. Hello honeys, it's Yolz and welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. It's another segment of Sunday sit down. This time though it's a bit different. I really thought that this might be helpful for you or a girlfriend or a cousin who is a woman in South Africa that just is clearly a prey. There are so many predators out there and so much violence has been going on with a lot of e-hailing services. I'm talking about the Bolt situations especially that have come up, where a lot of these Bolt male drivers have been sexually assaulting women, violence, hitting them, tasering them, stabbing people, even males. I can't even imagine how much worse it would be if that male was a female in the cases that I've heard. So I just wanted to share a bit of my story. If you find it helpful, please share it with a cousin of yours or a sister or friend, whoever may need this. I think it might be helpful to somebody. That's truly why I sat down today and wanted to share it with you. If you do enjoy Sunday sit downs, definitely give this video a massive thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know your experience. It might help someone else. And of course, do subscribe if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, I don't know why. Just simply click subscribe and join the Yolz channel family. Let's get straight into this video.
Hey there. It's Yolz channel.
I literally had to sit down with my husband one day. We had to share my car for a little while, and this was like maybe 3 years ago. And I actually sat down with him and I was like, I actually cannot go anywhere because without my car I am petrified to take an Uber, to take Bolt services. So I'd rather stay home, you use the car for the next couple of days. And he was so shocked at the time, like, what do you mean? And I was like, you can get into an Uber and come back. You almost guaranteed that you'll come back in one piece. In the same manner that you went inside that Uber, you will come out feeling absolutely nothing. Besides the fact that I risk not coming home, being raped, anything else happening to me, there is an even larger chance of me feeling terrified sitting next to or at the back seat of somebody's car, feeling uncomfortable, literally being catcalled within that very confines of that driver's vehicle. These people make very funny remarks, or to them it's sweet. I don't know what they think, they're pervy. They really make the ride so uncomfortable that all you're thinking of is, am I actually gonna get there? Essentially, getting into an Uber has just always been uncomfortable for me. So I sat down with him and I told him that, and there was one day we had no choice. I don't know if my car was in service or what, but I had an interview, a TV interview, and I really needed to get there. My husband couldn't take me, and boom, I had to take an Uber. The first thing I thought of was all the different stories that I knew. One of them was my niece. My niece actually had the Bolt app and got into a Bolt vehicle. One of the drivers basically took her from Sandton into Alex instead of where she was going. I believe she was going to Midrand, and held her at gunpoint, took her bag, her phone, and even snatched her wig. And she was left stranded in a place she doesn't know. Somebody actually found her along the road and was able to take her to the police station, and thankfully she wasn't assaulted in any way besides the trauma that she had gone through in that moment. And even saying besides makes her situation less than, which it doesn't take away from the trauma, because we're living in a world where that level of at least diminishes the level of trauma she's gone through, which she has to live with that forever in reality, you know. Then the other story, this is all these things that I was thinking of before I got my Uber, was when I was working in Rosebank and I was working full-time in corporate. The same spot I used to take an Uber, one woman got into an Uber and found herself in a situation where someone else got out of the boot. They drove her to some barren land, they raped her, and thankfully she survived, but she was still raped. So much was taken away from her, and it was her daughter who actually shared this story. It was another Uber driver who did this to her alongside someone else. So for years after that, I took Ubers with someone. I would ask the driver to open his boot. I wouldn't sit in the back seat because of the child lock thing, and I would always sit in the front and make sure that I can open and close my door. So there I am sitting and thinking to myself, do I cancel this TV interview or I don't? Do I take an Uber? What happens now? Lord knows that was one faithful day. I took an Uber, and for the first time in my life, this man, the minute I entered that Uber, didn't make a comment about my looks. Look, honey was looking good, I won't lie. Obviously, my face beat was to the T. I had my lashes on. I usually don't even wear lashes. I had a wig on, and I had a pretty revealing-ish dress, even if I say so myself now. But at the time, I really wanted to look good for the interview, and there was no changing time. I needed to make it on time, and I was also back to back, so I needed to literally get in to the interview the way that I was dressed. And I just prayed, like, Lord, I just hope this doesn't make it uncomfortable, and if it is, can I just get there safely, please, Lord. This man didn't make any snacks remarks about the way I looked. It felt as though he didn't even see me as a woman, which to a large extent, when you're in an Uber, I appreciated that. We went into conversations. First thing he asked, do I want the radio on? Do I go through town? Do I take the highway? What do you prefer? And he was just genuinely a nice human being that treated me like another human being. So I got to the venue safely. I shot, and I actually, before I got out, I was like, hey guy, can I actually just take your number if you still be around? How do I request you again? I didn't even tell him that I felt safe. I was just like, because we're going back to the south, and he had mentioned that he lives not too far, actually just up the road, and that he's got a couple of Ubers as well. Obviously we were talking in general, but I just felt so safe. Long story short, he got another ride within the area that I was shooting at, and when I was done, I texted him, and he said no, he's actually just finishing off his last trip. He's right outside. I got out, and he was right there. We went home, and the ride again was safe. I sat in the front as per usual, because I don't sit at the back of Ubers. I don't, you know. The only other time I've sat at the back is when I'm with somebody, but that's about it. I got home safely, told my husband about it, and the next time my husband needed a ride to the airport, I didn't take him. I said, you know what, call Wilson, find out if he can pick you up. Wilson was there 10 minutes before time. He dropped him off at the airport. He could pick him up again, and basically Wilson just became part of the family. Okay, and the reason I'm sharing this is because yes, all men are trash. With no doubt, I believe that all men are trash. You know, there are just very few of them who are willing to call out their own, to call out the other brothers, and I believe Wilson was just one of them. You know, my husband, I believe, is also one of them, just to be nice there and be kind, no, but truthfully. So the reason I'm sharing this story is because there are so many horror stories out there, and thankfully I've never been in a situation that's super compromising where I felt you know, like my life was threatened. I felt like I've been taken advantage of. I felt like I've literally been stripped while sitting down in an Uber, fully clothed and everything. I have felt unsafe in an Uber. So that's why I want to share the story. I shared it on IG, and this was within obviously the Joburg area. I was also willing to share Wilson's details. He does have a couple of drivers around the Gauteng area as well, and that's why I want to share the story. If you are looking for somebody, this is somebody's number I've shared with people at church. He's taken so many families to the airport, picked other people up. December time, he's also picked up a lot of you guys, my followers on IG, who were hosting in December, people from the airport and back, people who would go out and then need a ride back home. And it's just one of those situations where I want you to be safe. It's easy to say just delete the Bolt app, but then what? What then? What other options do I have? So if you are living in the Gauteng area, please reach out to me, and I am more than happy to share Wilson's details with you. If you are outside of Gauteng and you know of somebody you felt safe in, let's create that. Unfortunately, we as women have to fight for ourselves now, which is why I'm here saying, look, this is an avenue you could use. I trust him. I'm not betting my life on him. He's still a man. That is why the statement, all men are trash, I fully stand on. However, I felt safe, and a lot of you have all come back and said, even your families who've used Wilson after taking, you know, his number from me, have felt so safe in there and were brought home safely. Even his drivers that he's decided, okay, cool, I'm not available today, but this guy can help you. those people have made you feel safe. So that's why I'm willing to share this. But if you know anyone else outside of Gauteng, Mpumalanga, Northwest, Cape Town, please, 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 if you are willing to share those people's details or willing to share your handle where you can DM somebody that person's number, which is what I think is safer, please do so. Add it in the comment section, leave your IG handle, let people be able to reach out to you so that they can get these people's contact details and contact them if it's possible. But at this point, girls, we are not safe, and we are sort of left with no choice but to fend for ourselves. And yeah, equip yourself. If you're getting into an Uber, like I say, I don't sit at the back. It's just a place that's really unsafe for me personally. That child lock thing, it's a thing. I always also ask them to open the boot because I still fear that there might be somebody hiding in the boot. And I'm not doing this to instill fear in you. I don't know what else to do, to be honest. I'm a woman in South Africa, and anytime I step out of my house, the risk of me not coming home to my child, to my husband, is far higher by a distance than it is for my husband. And I just want to make sure that you guys are safe, and where I can help, I want to help. So definitely share this video with whoever you feel might need it, your mom, your sister, your cousin, whoever it is, any females, your audience, whoever follows you. We all have social media. Please, please, please share this video with them. And of course, if you did enjoy this video, definitely give it a massive thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit me up on IG for Wilson's details, and I'm more than happy to share them with you. I love you guys so much, and have a happy Sunday further. Mwah.